chaos reigns in all of our content. I am Kristen, your DM for this evening for Madness Takes Artena, a 5e homebrew of my own device that these lovely players are taking the journey along with me. Let us meet these lovely players. We'll start with Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I'll be playing Paintbrush, the Sunsful Monk tonight. Skag is standing so still. I thought he froze. I'm like, oh, wait a second. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Izzy Talavera, all one. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon, or playing soon.
Speaking of the statue, Skag.
Hello, everybody. I'm Skyward RPG, and yeah, today I will be playing Lust and Fire River, and I'm excited to get this thing going.
Steve.
Hi, my name's Steve. I go by Hermes4939 a lot of places on the internet. You can find me on Twitter at W9Steve. I will be playing in a Vason game, hopefully this week, with Mary, who's out today, on Chaotic Wonderful on Thursday, and then I will be playing in a charity game on Friday in 2000 Tales, I believe is the channel. So please make sure you catch us there to support a wonderful project. Thank you.
Steve hanging out with Mary. Danny.
Danny, you can find me on the internet at Dr. Snugglebutts. Yeah, go follow me. I'm gonna try and work on some other projects. Those are in the back, unknown, hiding in the shadows, lurking. Uh, Maybe they'll come to light. We'll see. Other than that, I play Trenton, the reluctant to do any type of work at all wizard rogue, who maybe goes a little too ham to avoid work by making things go boom. Yay! That's it.
And we are missing Mary tonight. She is once again sick. The plague has visited upon her house. We wish her a speedy recovery.
Oh no.
So Amariel will once
Oh
again be just
no.
hanging out in the background. All right. When last we left off, you all had left Belmoral, were traveling along on the road, and you got into a fight with boars. Yes, with boars. When you also saw great elk that bring portents with them usually, but none of you saw those portents since none of you are tightly bound to Parceline, who in Artena is the one that they are attached to. But you did defeat the boars that tried to attack said elk. You had somewhat of a conversation ish with the elk. And then you had a long rest and everything was grand. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, as soon as the fight was over, you all did get to finish out your sleep. There was no other things that happened, and anybody that needed to make up for it, you slept just a little longer through the night. Apparently there was a tent that was what's the word I'm looking for? Uh Besmirched by the nettle drake familiar that Lustin has received that Trenton will no longer sleep in.
I will burn that tent to the ground.
Hopefully not with Lustin in it.
I will not be held responsible.
But you all do reconvene in the cart. Paintbrush, are you again taking lead and driving?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Errol, are you going to sit next to him and make sure his cloak does the billowing?
Yes. And then I always imagine that, like, I'm always enjoying sitting up front to, watch the road and watch where it's going and kind of sit with paintbrush. But then every once in a while, the cloak of billowing always kind of just ends up like just billowing to the left or to the right to look nice. And it's always ends up in my face sometimes when I'm least expecting it. Ah!
Sorry, the old lady potato dog needed out.
Oh,
And then back in the back, Amariel is once again laying down across the bags and the like with her dog, with her doge. Uh, and she does appear to have a little bit of a fever. And so
I
she is
pour
not
some iced coffee into a cup for her.
I'm going to be as far away and up front as I can to avoid getting sick because no, thank you.
I think actually once we find out that she kind of has a fever, Errol will actually go back and sit with her and trade places with Lustin. This isn't something that kind of bothers him too much. It's nothing he hasn't seen or even dealt with. And so yeah, he will probably just kind of sit with her and provide some water and at least just sit with
some cool
Amariel.
compresses for the forehead.
Yeah. Put some iced coffee in the compress. It's kind of sticky, but it's okay.
An iced coffee compress just
Hmm.
seems sacrilegious to me. As you
Awful.
continued down the road, uh Rush has already proven that he is able to control the cart and the horses, and so we will not make him roll anymore for that. And the second day of your journey, and even the third and the fourth, pass by uneventfully. You keep your watches at night. Uh, Nothing really stirs outside of the camp. It seems that you have found a stretch that is not so much dangerous right now. As you continue going farther west, in my directions, I swear, um, you begin to have a lessening of the snow. It's not quite as packed and on the ground. You don't have the blizzards that come through like you did in Belmoral. There's little bits of green shooting up from the snow here and there along the sides, and you start to see more trees and uh more animal life. You hear more birds singing in the mornings, and you hear what sounds like rabbits in the brush. Definitely getting to be warmer as well. So if you want to take off some of the layers that I'm sure you've accumulated in Pelmoral.
I'm going to take off my bodysuit and put on my regular uh, tribe robes back on now that it's a little warmer.
Overall, it's a pleasant journey as you go along. As you continue on, you do come to a fork in the road, and it's early evening, and you hear the sound of drums and chanting, and you can make out against the dying light, since it is, early evening and this is Artena, it's already fairly dark. So you do see a rather large campfire with a group of humans around it. You can see their figures as they go around the fire, dancing and chanting in unison. Seems they're all having fun. Do you
Uh,
approach?
I would try to take a look and see if I can recognize who they are, if there's any kind of dances that I would recognize from being on the road in the past, and see if I can figure out who they are before they're coming up, because just because they're dancing doesn't mean that's fun.
Make an insight check for me.
18.
It doesn't seem familiar to you at all. It just appears like you do hear the chanting. It doesn't appear to be religious in nature or anything that is dire. It sounds more like what would be a song if they were actually singing.
Okay.
So it's possible that they're just chanting because they don't have instruments with them.
Okay. I guess I'll turn to the group. As I said, I don't recognize what they're doing or any specific connotations of what they're doing. I don't get that it's risky at all. Do we want to keep going? Do we want to go check them out? What do we think?
Yeah, let's go dance with them.
I am with I'm with Paintbrush on this one. I think we should go and have some fun a little bit.
Oh my
Go and
god.
enjoy ourselves.
I can tell Trenton's excited.
It's like every time we make a little bit of headway so we can get this shit over with. It's like, oh look, another distraction.
It is about the
I
time that
just
you would be looking for a camp most evenings, though, so you don't wear out the horses and
so we can join them in their camp.
Yeah.
Safety in numbers.
You don't have to sleep in the creepy tent. In the
I
sneaky
mean,
tent?
it's my tent, I guess.
Well, that's his tent. I have a different tent. It's like ethic now. It's slimy creatures. Um,
he shares
He's
a
not
tent with
slimy.
Paintbrush now.
Not slimy.
He's a
Then
dork.
Amariel has the third one, and Errol sleeps in the cart, apparently.
I might end up sleeping, sharing tents with Lustin. We'll see. But yeah, I guess we'll approach and see what happens.
I'm gonna hand the reins over. Who's next to me? Who's next to me?
That would be Lustin.
Lester, I'm gonna hand the reins over, pull out my flute, and see if I can start like picking up on the beat a little bit as we get closer.
Give me a performance check.
Oh God! So I'm using the digital dice today. Let's see if they betray my.
They will betray you. They
Hurt.
always betray you.
12.
Okay, it's not a perfect pickup. Like you stumble a little bit at the beginning, but you start to get at least a steady cadence with them, if not an intricate one. And as you start to get a little louder on the flute and its uh, vibrant sounds start to float through the night, they look over and wave and hail, travelers, come, be welcome. Since there is still about 50 feet between you and them, Lustin, give me an animal handling check and a
Oh
dexterity
Jesus!
a dexterity check.
Oh God! Don't kill us.
It's left and right.
Can I give him the help action?
How are you helping him?
See what happens. Let's roll.
I, knowing that like I'm a very observant person and I've been watching Paintbrush, I'm gonna use Mage Hand to just like
Right.
like pet the horses and calm them, so it's like nice and soothing.
Okay, take advantage on the animal handling.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
No.
I tried.
16.
Okay then. Okay, and what'd you get for dexterity?
Dexterity.
Yep, just a straight dexterity check.
Just straight dexterity 13.
Okay, yeah, you watched Paintbrush enough over the last few days that you can imitate the sounds that he makes to the horses to get them to listen, and you do see just faintly glimmering a mage hand petting one of the horses. You're
You
able
needed
to,
assistance. You looked like you were going to fuck it up. I'm sorry.
and you
Yeah,
do,
well, I know that I need assistance. Animals don't like me.
and as
All
you
except for this little one.
kind of, it's pretty much a straight line because they are like right in the middle of the fork. So it's like a straight ahead shot, and you can pull in right up where their horses and carts are. Uh, and as you all get down, I assume one of you takes care of the horses and gets them unhooked and set to graze, since there is actual grass for them to graze on and they don't need the pottage.
Yeah. Oh, I also pop eyes to the eyes of the grave. Location of any undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover and isn't protected from divination magic.
Sorry, I missed that one.
Are there any undead? I'm using eyes of the grave. Any undead
Oh,
within
there's no
60
undead.
feet? Okay.
I'm gonna be ritual casting detect magic.
Okay.
I will probably go with
Can you scroll back?
paintbrush to take care of the horses, unless paintbrush does not feel like it.
I am going
Go
to.
play.
Yes, I'm probably going to be the most unhelpful, so I'm just going to
Oh
dance
no,
around Steve as he,
nope.
with my flute, as he gets the horses together.
Since the horses
Yeah,
like
you
paintbrush
do
better, that probably works out a lot better.
you do get all three horses their leads out so that they can, wander around and graze next to the other horses. And after a couple of seconds and a couple of brief little nips, all of the horses kind of settle back down. And Amariel sits up and uh, asks uh, Leston if he'll help her set up her tent just a little bit away from the noise so that she can just sleep some more.
You stay here. I will take care of your tent. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pour her an iced coffee that's decaf.
She's gonna say no, no more coffee. I'm good. Thank you though.
It's decaf. It you
But it's bitter and it kind of doesn't sit well in my stomach. I'll just take water. Thank you.
such weak constitution.
What are you, sick woman?
It's like coffee is like 40% water or 90% water. I don't understand.
For hydrating.
It it it's not bitter. It's flavorful. It's a light roast.
No matter what people
It's
actually say, coffee does help hydrate you. The diuretic
it
is not enough in it to offset the amount of water you're getting.
unless it's Cuban coffee, and then it will.
Oh yeah, unless it's like you can like literally, it's like pudding.
Oh, I love introducing new friends to Cuban coffee. They're like, "I'll drink the whole thing." I'm like, "Excellent,"
Do it, please. I want to watch what happens.
because they see the small cup and they're like, "Oh, that's one serving." I go, "This is for the group." They're like, "No, I can drink the whole thing." You know what? Go for it.
You can now smell
I'm
the
gonna enjoy. I'm gonna.
impurity.
You do you.
I'm going to enjoy
Did
this.
you, why
5
is
minutes
my heart
later. No, 5 minutes later. Bathroom.
But yes, as you all get set up and Amariel goes and lays in her tent with her dog, who has been very attentive with her and like cuddling and nuzzling, and she's given him a couple of treats and making sure he's still fed. You all go and join those around the campfire. Now that you're there and over the time you've been doing all of this, the chant has become clear in a way. Do any of you speak Goblin?
Negative.
Let me see. I speak Undercommon.
Got deep speech.
Let me just check Amariel's quick. I don't think so, though.
Oh,
No.
also during the ride, I would have been lightly, briskly reading the book with minimal effort.
Okay. You're keeping abreast of your studies enough that you probably wouldn't be lost going back to school quite yet.
Like, oh, it's a magic. Wonderful. Close book.
Really? That's amazing.
Just need to read the introduction. That's pretty much all you need to know. The rest is just like glorified, like, listen to me talk on why magic is magic. It's like, I don't care.
So
uh,
is it like a history book of magic?
It's like a history to do. Oh my god, I'm so great because I figured out how to do the to do. And it's like 90% of how great I am. Like, God, these people are so pompous.
I mean, it kind of sounds like you in the way.
I create bonfire underneath him.
roll the damage.
Well, he gets a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's a 19.
Okay.
He's saved. It's like,
It's like
Sorry,
you
it's
can
just
tell what he's
I
about
got
to do
used.
by the
I'm
hand
used to
movement.
this now at this point.
sometimes it just
Just
happens. Looks like I need to study a bit more. Get that under control.
But yes, you do hear their chanting is this kind of guttural, uh, deep from the chest sound. But when they do just address you, it is in common and perfectly understandable in their regular voices. With the flute kind of carrying along with them, it's a little discordant because it is such a deep guttural song that they're chanting. Uh, but you still do keep like weaving in and out amongst it and giving it a very strangely ethereal feel. Anything else you all do? Does
Uh,
anybody
I'm
join the dancing?
I'm gonna. Who is not joining the dance?
Harold's pretty suspicious of this, so he is not, and he's kind of monitoring how he's feeling and kind of checking stuff out. And
Errol,
he's
come here. Errol, come here. I have a question.
okay, and he's going to go over there and kind of under also pretenses of kind of getting some cooking going and things like that. But it just seems odd.
Does it sound like all of them have heartburn at the same time?
It
It's like coming from there. It's like they have like communal heartburn while they're trying to sing.
it's not the weirdest thing I've heard, but it's right in the middle of the fork of the road. Like you couldn't avoid it if you wanted to, and they're obviously making a lot of noise. So they travel a lot, and so I don't get it. Just it just seems like they're welcoming people in, and that's fine. I don't know if we should go talk to someone and get a better beat on it, or just kind of sit and wait and hang out. I'm gonna kind of see what's up.
Well, this might help. And I'm gonna poof my Tressum familiar, and I'm gonna have him scout around, and then report back kind of what he's seeing, telepathically. Uh,
Are you gonna put your eyes and ears into your familiar, or are you going to just
I'm gonna let him telepathically communicate to me, and if he sees something really weird, then I will Game of Thrones warg into him.
all right.
Right? That's what you do with
Okay.
familiars. Get your shit together, Lusted.
Go ahead and give me
I don't know. I have
a
this.
perception check with your Tresimir.
Okay. Perception. So he has a +5. I'm just gonna roll a 20. That's gonna be an 18. Fuck that 7. So 23.
All right. Yeah, he takes a look around and like he weaves through the feet of the horses and nothing seems odd over there. Uh he kind of goes a little bit out into the brush and the trees. Doesn't really see anything out of place. It just seems like a normal campsite. He does chase a rabbit for a little bit that he runs into. But he trots around in a circumference that is at the limit of the telepathic communication and comes back and says if, like the feeling you get is that everything's fine.
Okay. Uh, it's gonna go, who's a good little familiar? Yo, Joe, 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 and poof him out. You're like, no, he didn't see anything odd or strange. I still don't trust them because, how do you like a community of Hopman at the exact same time? That's just fucking weird. But doesn't see anything dangerous around.
Okay. I guess I'll get done kind of setting up, and then kind of if you want to go with me, we'll find out who. Oh God, the people with the lowest charisma are going to go find out who's who in the caravan. Why do you let us do this? Why do you let us walk around unsupervised?
Oh, I was
Paintbrush.
gonna say Lustin's already in the middle of everything, having a
Okay,
fucking
okay.
time.
Good.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
let's
Okay,
switch
paintbrush
over
and
to
Lustin.
Lustin. Let's switch over to Lustin.
Have you two joined the dance?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I've had my flute. I've been dancing around the fire with them, just fluting
Okay,
away.
both of you roll me performance checks.
Ooh, performance. I like this one a lot better.
A grand total of 10.
23.
Oh, nice.
Paintbrush, you're a little too concentrated on the flute and keeping the music going in there, and so you don't quite get in step with them. Lustin, however, you join this dance like you were born to it. You're out there and you're keeping sync almost immediately. I need you to roll me a charisma saving throw.
Oh,
God
here's
damn
this
it,
little
why do you do
dance. We're
this?
gonna get eaten.
Actually, that's a 20 total.
Okay, you start to feel something like pressing at the back of your mind, but it just kind of washes over you, and for the continuation of the dance, it seems fine. But you do notice, actually make a perception check.
You think that's a one? You think he's paying attention to this?
You were completely lost in this dance. You were not noticing anything around you. Like there was that little bit of pressure, and you're like, oh, maybe it was just a headache trying to start. Trenton or Errol, are you paying attention to anything happening around the fire, or are you more just kind of talking to each other?
I think with Trenton sending his familiar around, I think Arrow would be kind of trying to pay attention, especially after popping the eyes of the grave and kind of looking around. I think you said earlier to Trenton, it just seemed so obvious in the middle of this that you couldn't help but at least stop and see. So he's pretty suspicious still.
All
Oh,
right, with
Trenton is
roll.
absolutely watching.
Yeah.
All right, with your passive perception, Errol, you notice that while you couldn't see it before, and you're not entirely sure why, there does seem to be a figure that is sitting off to the side of the dance that you didn't notice before.
Hmm. Hmm. Duck. All right. All right. Let's. Uh, all right.
Go talk to him.
I'm gonna kind of nudge Trenton and then point out the individual that we just noticed and go over there and go over and kind of sit down near them and see what happens.
As you get closer, you see that it's a fairly gorgeous woman that stands at about 5.5 feet tall, raven black hair that almost seems to look more like feathers than hair, and slightly bird-like features with like how the shape and size of the eyes and kind of like almost an owl's blinking, um a slightly sharper pointed nose, though not actually a beak, and uh from their arms there are wings descending.
Okay, and that's the person that we know that we noticed off to the side, right?
Yes.
Okay, are they sitting?
Yes.
Okay, I will sit down and kind of make an introduction, and introduce myself as I sit down. And be like, thank you for allowing us to sit with you.
She finally seems to notice you at this point. Sorry, I was looking up something quick. She startles a little bit and looks over to you and stands. And as she stands, you notice that she's not actually wearing any clothes. Like the feathers from the wings over and like not fully across her chest, but enough to uh cover the important bits. And it also kind of like feathers come up her legs as and then there's um she has like just a simple skirt on,
Okay.
and she seems amazed that you even noticed her. Oh, hello, travelers. How may I help you?
We just wish to rest for the night, and I know that there's a few of you here, and we would just like to kind of stay by. And if there's anything to trade, we're happy to trade. But other than that, we mostly want to make sure that our party is safe.
Safety may be overrated in my mind, but hmm, sit, enjoy. And you do notice that she has a harp that she hadn't been playing, and then she starts to lightly pluck on it and singing a beautiful song. I need all of you
Those.
to give me a charisma saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Is this about for being charmed?
Um, nope.
At least I have advantage on it.
7,
That was
because I rolled a
horrible.
9, but I have -2.
I have advantage on saving throws because of my nature. That's going to be an 18, I think.
I only have advantage if it's against being charmed.
16.
Cambridge,
15 for me.
you all find yourselves stunned.
An
What?
18? Damn.
What?
This debilitatingly beautiful song echoes from her throat, reaching out into the night, and all of the people dancing around the fire stop and just turn and stare at her.
Well, boys and
Well,
girls,
my pretties. It was fun while it lasted, but I have a feeling you won't be as easy to manipulate into the dance as these others. Bye bye now. And she flaps her wings and takes off into the night. At the end of the 6 seconds, and she's about 30 feet away at that point. We'll check that. No, about 40 feet away at that point. Slowly going farther and farther, you do see a shield now that detect magic has come up, probably like just before she stunned you, Trenton, and you do see a shield form around her as she continues to fly off.
Just 30 feet away?
40.
I'm going to try to cast command and say halt.
All right, what is the roll on that?
Wisdom 15.
She stops and turns and looks at you with hatred in her eyes now.
She made her mad now.
you fucked up now, buddy.
And then
You thought that I fucked up. No, you did now.
I'm just going to pick up a lovely little rock,
Oh, no.
flick it in my hand, and be like, "Here, catch, catapult."
Oh god, I was gonna slow roll this, but here we go.
What is the attack on that? Or Is it an attack or saving throw? I don't remember.
It's Dex saving throw of 15.
All right, and I'll give her disadvantage on it because of the command. Oh, she still beats it by 1, even on disadvantage. So even though she was commanded to stop, she still just tilts her head slightly as the rock goes past her head.
The warning shot. Don't fuck with my ability to make decisions.
Lustin and Paintbrush, anything the two of you are going to do?
I mean, I was
Uh,
just gonna let it say "fuck off" and fly away.
yeah, I was toot fluting and dancing.
I was
Oh,
having fun, you know.
yeah, yeah. uh, I Nah, I think I'm still gonna toot flute and dance with the the other creatures.
Well, you're stunned
Oh,
currently,
I was
so like
stunned.
that has
He's
Well,
just
stunned.
started to wear off, and they are no longer chanting and dancing.
the last thing I would have seen was the rock, right? Being
Yep.
thrown. Hmm. I'm.
It looked like a little mini sun, just like pulling super fast, like a meteor burning in the atmosphere.
uh, I think I'll get within 30 feet of her. I'm not gonna do anything yet. Um,
Okay, yeah, you just got to move about 10 feet, and you'll be within 30 feet.
yeah.
Lustin, anything? You said you're just gonna watch.
I will ready a spell. I will ready an Eldritch Blast if she attacks or if she comes after us, but not gonna blast her and piss her off even more. No reason to.
Let me see if she can throw off the command. Oh yeah,
I
she
think
throws off the command.
yeah, it just lasts that
That
one
6 seconds. Oh, okay.
action, and
So she
then
shakes it
yeah.
off, and in a less beautiful voice, you hear, "I was willing to leave you alone, but you messed with a siren. A siren doesn't forget." And she is going to fly at Paintbrush, who moved closer to her, with a claw attack.
Oh goody!
And then
Here,
it
take
will
this,
be
bitch.
initiative.
Oh, I had my thing ready. If she's charging us,
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
so that will be a lot to hit. 20 to hit.
that does hit.
I don't know why I have advantage on initiative.
That will be 6 points of damage total. That's including the ice damage.
All right. Paintbrush, I am assuming that a 22 hits.
Oh, yep, that hits.
So she flies at you with her claws out, because now that you can see her hands, her nails are as sharp as talons. And that is
Of
6
course, I rolled
points
a nat
of
20 also on
slashing
initiative.
damage.
There we go.
And then all right, Paintbrush, what did you roll for initiative?
15.
Dustin,
Nat 20
for a total of?
for a total of 20.
Trenton
19.
and Errol.
That'd be 14.
And as she does fly forward and attack Paintbrush, the rest of the people around the fire finally sort of realize what's going on, and they all dive for underneath wagons or anywhere that they can hide. And to start will be Lustin.
Oh, goody. So I can cast Hex on her.
All right.
Maybe. Okay, let's go ahead and cast
And
Hex.
she is now within 5 feet of Paintbrush and within 10 feet of the rest of you.
Hmm.
Oh, good. So I can run up on her with
Yes.
my trident. That's fine. Goody goody. Okay, so I shall do that. I'm going to two-hand wield my trident and try and strike her.
Oh
That's a
no.
nat one.
Lustin, as you go to rush up on her with your trident, she turns and just kind of cocks her head like a crow would and smiles at you, and it disarms you enough that you trip and your trident like pokes into the ground instead of her.
Mm.
I got to what I
And
wanted to be. This is fine.
that brings us to Trenton.
I'm just going to put my index finger near my thumb and just like and chromatic orb.
All right.
Nice.
Um, and I'm going to choose. Let's go with acid.
Okay.
No, that's going to be a 19 to hit. 19. Well, 19 plus 7 for 26.
Okay, yes, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. Oh, those are good numbers. 25 acid damage.
Oh god.
As it hits her, it hits the feathers and seems to run off, not doing quite as much damage as you expected.
And then I'm just going to take a few steps back. And can I see what the goblins are doing? Like in response to this?
They're humans, they're not goblin.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
humans.
They have
Just
all dove for cover behind wagons and the like. As soon as they were stunned and then she started to leave, they were broken out of whatever they were in.
you could try and help, like for your own survival and shit. Uh, and oh, and my turn.
Okay. That brings us to the siren. She's going to kind of smile down at Leston with a, "Oh, how cute. You tried." And then going to take another swipe at Paintbrush. For a natural 1. So, uh, she's too busy looking at Leston. She goes to swipe at Paintbrush and uh kind of swings and hits her own wing and kind of, "Oh, dear. I will deal with you later."
Oh, well, at
And now
least you
she's
tried.
almost fully looking like she's just looking at Leston now. Leston has her full attention. She is going to swing and try to hit you now with her claws. Does a 22 hit?
Let me think about that. Let me think. Yes, as a matter of fact, it does.
She's all like, "Now try this."
Please tell me she won.
That's a total. She rolled 2d6 and it totals 14 points of damage.
Let's go.
She rolled
Yes.
2
Got your
sixes.
number.
So she reaches down and go like it almost looks like to the rest of you that instead of claw attacking him, she is caressing his face. But as she caresses his face, she starts to pull the side of it up, just trying to skin him with her talons. And that will bring
Oh,
us
now this gets
to.
interesting. Oh wait, I gotta roll for concentration on Hex.
Oh, yep.
Hold on. I have advantage though. Yeah, that's a lot. 24.
Okay. Yes, you do keep hex up. And that brings us to Paintbrush's turn.
Uh, I'm mad that she scratched me, so I'm gonna scratch her back. My kitty cat claws. Does a
Kitty cat
nine-
claws and I don't care. Kitty cat claws
Claus,
and
and
I
I
don't
don't
care.
care. Kitty cat claus, I don't care. Meow 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 meow.
Does a 19 hit?
19 does hit, yes.
Yay. And it is going to be 6 damage. And then I am going to Fury of Blows at
All
her.
right.
Yeah, fuck your couch.
The first one's an 11.
That does not hit.
The second one is a 12.
That does not.
No!
So you
These
do reach out, you scratch her once, and you go to get a little bit more aggressive about it, and she just kind of lifts her leg enough that you can't quite reach her.
She's
oh.
trying to pee on you. That's why she's lifting her leg. She's really
No!
gross. Do you not have any shame? My God, I've never met a siren so disgusting.
And that brings us to Errol for the siren who is apparently into water sport.
Get into the water polo team, you filthy animal.
And Errol is just hold still, and we'll cast Hold Person on them.
All right.
Wisdom 15.
Oh, yes, please.
She succeeds and just kind of
Silvery barbs.
buckles. Oh, okay.
Silvery barbs.
So that means she has to roll again and take the lower?
Yep. And I give advantage to someone of my choice.
She rolled a natural 20, so the other one still stands.
Well,
No.
and I'm going to give Lustin advantage on his next ability check, saving throw, or attack roll.
All right.
I do not have a. No, I don't have a good bonus action to do at this point. So that's going to be it.
All right. Back up top to Lustin.
Oh, goody. Okay, let's see if we can't hit her with the trident again. I have advantage on this attack. That will be a 23 to hit.
That hits?
Two-handed. It's D6 added on or D10? For Hex. D6. D6.
Okay.
Okay. That would be a whopping total of 7 points of damage. That's the lowest
Not
I can
too
hit.
bad.
That's the lowest.
All right. Anything else from you, Lustin?
That will be it for
All
me
right.
for now.
Trenton, back to you.
Be like, well, let's try a different flavor of the week. Another chromatic orb. This time I'm gonna go with lightning.
All right. And you guys have noticed that anything that is, or no, everything that you have done so far has been flashing or magical. So never mind. Never mind. All right, go ahead with your lightning.
24 to hit.
That hits.
15 lightning damage.
As you hit her with the lightning, she screeches. And it seems to go through her body and through her wings and singe a couple of the feathers. And it does more damage than you expected. What
Ooh!
was the total that you had?
What?
What was the total again of the damage?
Well, it was 15 damage.
15. Okay.
And I'm just gonna respond to go, smells like chicken.
Is that your move?
And then I'm gonna. How far away would you say I am?
Oh, you're only about 15 feet away between how high she is in the air and the distance. Because you haven't moved at all.
Perfect. So I'm just going to Would you say, with how Trenton is, that I would have a nail file in my pocket?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Uh, for my bonus action, I will take the nail file out and passive aggressively file my nails like Shigo from Kim Possible.
Yes,
That's-
best character ever.
Take inspiration for that.
There you
I
go,
already
baby.
have inspiration. Can I stock up?
No. Well, technically, I mean, if the other was gifted to you, then yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can stack.
Yay!
Yay!
And that will bring us to the siren. Now that you've done this much damage to her, she is going to fly over and go to swipe at you twice, but that does give Lustin and Paintbrush attacks of opportunity.
Oh, we made him
Oh, good.
mad.
Oh yeah. Do it.
That's a fucking nat 20. Let's go.
I
Fuck your shit.
All right, roll for your damage. Is this with your Triton? Trident?
Yeah, this is what. Yeah, this is what.
Okay.
Well, so do you want me to roll the 2d8, or do you want to do max damage plus the d8?
Roll your normal damage and then just double it.
Okay, dokie. Because right now that's a lot. Oh my god! Fuck yeah! Let's go. 11, 15 points of damage total because
As
of
she
the.
starts to go towards Trenton, what does it look like as you kill the siren?
Nice.
dang.
So he sees her, starts to turn, and he takes his Triton out, and he's like, "I don't think you're getting away from me that easily," and he's just gonna go downwards on her and just slam it down into her back as she turns to bolt.
I feel so threatened. Oh no. Yeah, I think they're even.
And as you hit her and the trident drags her down to the ground, and you do see some of the smoking feathers. But as she does pass out and pass on, there are a few of the feathers that, if delicately pulled with a nature roll, you might be able to keep some of.
Don't look at me for that. I don't know
Uh,
nothing about
I would,
Oh,
I would love to use some of these potentially as
I
components.
want feathers.
All right,
But I'm
anybody
gonna
trying
look
to
over
get
to
feathers?
Errol.
She does have fairly large wings off of her arms. So I would say you can go for regular feathers or you can go for flight feathers, but the flight feathers are going to be a slightly higher DC.
Go for flight feathers.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
go
gonna look over
ahead
to
and
Errol.
roll nature checks for me.
Errol.
I'll probably go for for some of the other ones.
Okay.
I've 18.
18 as well.
No, I got a nat 1 for 2. I hate these online dice.
So
They're treating me
Trenton
I
well.
will yell at
very
you.
carefully pulls out. You do get 2 flight feathers, Trenton. Errol, you're going for some of the less hard to get to regular feathers, and you get 5 regular feathers. Paintbrush, you're still mad at her for scratching you, and you're just like pulling, just plucking this
No,
bitch.
no, stop. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to bonus action, quote unquote, to second wind
Okay.
to heal.
and I
And
will actually give the feathers to Lustin. I said I don't think I have anything to do with these. I don't know if you need them or not, but here you go.
I don't, but I appreciate it. But I do have another question for you.
Mhm.
Do you have 13 herbs and spices?
I think I have something that could.
You can't season it after it's been fried. Look at it.
True.
It's not fried yet.
And it
That's the
talked.
thing.
And it
I
talked.
sizzled that shit with lightning.
It talked. I'm not sure if I feel great because it
The
talked.
internal,
as
the
we're having this
internal temperature.
conversation, the humans that had been dancing around the fire, there are 7 of them. start to crawl up out from underneath the two carts that they had and out from under your cart. And they're like, what, what day is it?
Today.
No, I'll give them the best date that I know of.
Oh, I think they all look a little disconcerted and they're like, I think I think it's been at least a week we've been here with her. And like as you look closer at them, it does seem like there's not as much meat on their bones as would expect. Like they look a little gaunt, like they've been dancing and not eating for the last few days. Like maybe she let them stop for drinks. And they're like, thank you, kind travelers. Uh, be welcome at our fire tonight. And if you're perchance headed to the Shining Vale, uh, we would be glad of the company. Unless then
Um,
that is where you're heading.
and obviously, yeah, you're most welcome. Come, let's sit down and let's share some meals and get everyone rested. But we are definitely going to go through this chick stuff
And we will
Oh,
do that
absolutely.
after a quick break. We're
after
gonna
break.
go on break for about 5-10 minutes, and we will see you all when we come back. Hello. And welcome back. I wasn't like I thought I saw the corner of my eye. She gave me the finger guns, but I'm a little out of it. So, welcome back. We're playing a game. For those of you just joining us before the break, they came upon a party of people dancing and chanting, and slowly discovered that in their midst was a siren who was going to just run away, but that did not last long.
Not with us.
They did demolish the uh siren and they have been talking to the people that she had under her thrall who are all gaunt, like they haven't eaten. And is as the way of sirens, she was pushing them towards a slow suicide. And they are very grateful to you because for about a week she's had them under her thrall, and they're finally broken out of it. And they have said that they're also heading to the Shining Vale, which is where you all are headed to meet up with the former employer of Lustin, who has agreed to take you in while things have gotten a little too hot for you in Belmoral. And so
Yeah.
you take watches around the fire that night. uh they take their share of watches too, and things pass uneventfully. And uh while it's a little bit slower going, with at least the horses have been, grazing and e- had enough food that they're in good shape, the people really are not. Errol, they do each seek you out and just get a little bit of meditation and healing in with you. It doesn't do much to alleviate the gauntness, but they do seem a little bit brighter in spirit.
Yeah, no, there's not much a healing word or cure wounds will do for this. It is literally just food and rest.
Yeah. And so they do appear to take turns leading the teams of the carts and then just sleeping and snacking in the back, uh, taking care not to eat too quickly or too much with how long they've been without food. And slowly, as you guys trek towards the Shining Vale, they begin to gain some of their strength back. They're still those happy people. Um, do any of you ask them about the chanting?
I think,
Yes.
yeah,
Less than wood still.
and we would have kind of checked the camp area to see if she dropped anything or if there's anything else we
Oh yeah,
can
you
gain
wanted
from the
to search
area.
her. That's right. I
Yep.
apologize.
No, no.
You did get some of the flight feathers and regular feathers, and then
Mhm.
paintbrush plucked the bitch. Uh so before you guys all set off, take the night, whatever, uh as you search her, let me see what she might have on her.
Oh, and there's that shield that was glowing too, that Trenton saw.
That was just a magic shield of hers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Like-
That was, yep. She just casted seal.
Look what you cast, bitch. Going down.
um, you do recall, Trenton, from when you did get detect magic up. You did detect the shield, and as she turned, you did catch a brief glimpse of magical energy coming off of a necklace that she had on. And as you go closer and you look at it, it's a beautiful gold and silver necklace with a golden dove at the center. Uh, it's very well wrought. It's very pretty. And as you're all looking at the body, taking the feathers, as soon as Paintbrush is done plucking the bitch, he does concentrate on this necklace and is
I'm
drawn to it, and he tries to go and reach for
I'm gonna take the necklace.
it.
And I'm like, no, you don't do well with magic items. Remember the rock demon thing. Stop it.
Okay.
Waiting for that to pop up back in his possession again.
I will launch that shit even fucking further.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Do you
Uh,
have identify, Trenton, or not?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Yeah.
Dude, I have identify. I'm gonna ritual cast identify. That's all I do. Detect magic and identify.
Identify.
Like almost all my spells are utility.
So,
Except for
as you're
chromatic orb.
ritually casting identify with this necklace in your hands, the rest of you, Paintbrush is continually trying to get to this necklace. So either of you try
Errol,
and
get him.
stop
Get him. Errol, get him. Stop him.
Yes, and I
Stop it.
will. I said, just let him look at it. Let him tell us what it does first, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I take his yarn ball and I throw it.
Oh.
So as you hold this and cast identify, as soon as the spell goes off, this is a necklace of the siren.
Hmm.
Uh bards and other
Hmm.
people who like to sing feel that they are attracted to the necklace. While attuned to the necklace, the wearer has advantage and a +5 bonus to all performance checks made for singing. The wearer is also able to cast Charm Person once a day by singing. Save DC as 10 plus charisma modifier. After 1d8 plus 6 instances where the necklace's abilities are put to use, the necklace's curse will come into effect. You're not sure what the curse is, but you do get the feeling that once it hits a certain point, a curse is going to kick in.
So it has a benefit, but then it curses you.
This is the
Oh.
point in the episode where I say, I will take a cursed item. If you buy it, I will take it. Please and thank you.
I give Lustin the necklace.
I'm gonna put our coffee link in case anybody wants to buy first items or other things. Because you
Please.
can affect the game with those and aspects of chaos, because I forget. Are you going to take it anyway, Lustin? Because you are feeling a little bit drawn to it, not as much as Paintbrush, but with your family background, you do have that little twinge of being drawn to it.
Wait, do I see that? I don't want to give it to someone who's like tempted.
Roll an insight check, and you can feel free to roll a deception check if you would like to, Lustin.
Would this
Oh, I roll
use
deception.
would my
Yeah,
ring of
deception.
truth telling give me the advantage?
Yes.
I want to hear what he says first, because yeah,
17.
23.
Show your cursed item.
And so now we go into the night where everybody takes their watches. Tell me, Leston, you put it on.
Yes, it's gonna go on. Like, oh, it looked pretty. Bonk.
Fucking bad person. Become a bad person.
If I get the ability to fly because of this and I sprout wings, even better.
All right, I will have to put that into D&D Beyond because it is a homebrew item that I found. But send me a message to remind me, and I will put it in tonight.
I will yell
And
at you really quickly.
I will look at Paintbrush and be like, you can't have cast items. Like, you got an item you didn't even know was casting. You almost murdered a shit ton of people. Do
And
you want to murder people?
well, it depends the people, but
Do you want to murder? And I just point to Errol.
no, not Errol.
And then I point to Amariel's tent.
No, not a
And then
Mario.
Amariel's dog.
Oh no, no,
And then the horses.
no, no.
And then I put in Lustin.
Well, he stole my necklace, so no, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna
And
cut a
then
bit.
I make it known that I look at Lustin's fish thing and I don't point to it.
Just sitting
You're
there.
like, that is mine to kill and only mine.
I will find a way. I will banish it. I'll figure it out. We'll get you something good, but not something that has a risk.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, as you attune to it, Lustin, go ahead and roll me a 1d8 so we know how many tries you get before the curse takes hold.
What?
One.
To the one.
It's a one.
Okay, well, it is +6, so you do get to use it 7 times before it
Don't
takes.
miscount.
Let's go.
So then you do continue your journey to the Shining Vale with the new people. They slowly get healthier and healthier. The rest of the trip is uneventful, and you make it into the Shining Vale. When you
How
walk
many?
in, it's a fairly small town. It's probably only about 200 people in the town. Um, it's really easy for Lustin to just lead you straight to Lewis Dragonrock's store. It's one of a few stores in town. Most of the town is so it is next to, if you look on the map, the blue dot by the river. It's not right on the river, but it's close enough that there's greenery and there's some trees around. And you do see that there are some houses up in the nearby trees. And then there's almost like apartments that are set up in town where it's like not so much apartments, but like multifamily homes. Um, they don't look necessarily like a poor town, but also not prospering. You do part ways with the dancers that you had met up with, and when any of you ask them about the chanting, they have no idea what language they were speaking in either, because none of them actually speak Goblin.
What's that? That's just the way the cookie crumbles, or however that saying goes.
And
Quick question.
so,
How many days was the travel?
it was a total of a week and a half, and it had taken you 4 days to get to the fork in the road with the dancers.
Traveling like 11 days?
Yeah, 11 or 12.
Would I do my special thing daily
Yeah.
that we had discussed?
Yeah.
So would that be 11 checks?
Sure.
Okay. Fine. I rolled a 1 on the first one. So a 20, a 13, 13, 20. Oh my god, it's like 20s and 13s. That's all it is. 24, 13, 18, 24. I'm just gonna do 2 more. I'm tired of rolling.
Okay.
23.
Okay, I got a quick question then. Wasn't Lustin's brother in this town or
Had been
get
there,
in
yes.
contact with Louis?
Trenton, you do make it about halfway through your project.
Okay.
Because you did have some really good rolls in there. As you walk up to Lewis's store, it is like the front of it is almost completely windows, and so he does see you coming, and he comes out of the uh store and very loudly is like, "Oh, my boy, how have you been?"
Yes. I have been doing okay, Luis. Are you doing okay here? It seems like the shop is up and running still.
Yes, yes, we do a fine trade here, fine business. Ah, all right. I just had to make sure that I didn't have any other notes on him. I'm like, I don't even know what race he is. Did you pick out a
Dwarf.
race for him?
Dwarf.
Dwarf? Okay.
I don't know what kind of dwarf, but dwarf is what I remember writing in
Well,
there.
yeah, the rest of you do see a burly dwarf that walks out and like walks right up and like uh pats Lustin on the back and, "Oh, you bring friends. You made friends. I knew you would."
Yes, you can call them that. They're companions for sure.
Marielle speaks up. "Well, I think you're a friend, Lustin."
Look over to Mario. Yes, you are a friend, okay?
The dog runs up and licks your hand.
Nope. 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 No licky licky the hand. And then I'm gonna have my little I made another new friend though. I'm gonna hold a little tiny dragon thing just like
The
this in
metal
front of
drake.
me.
So you hold him
Yes.
about eye level for Lewis, and he just kind of pokes him, and like just a little bit of slime comes off with his finger, and he's like, "Interesting, little guy."
He doesn't like that one, and he'll point to why
Trenton.
can't I fucking yeah, Trenton, why am I fucking up with names today?
He will look around and he'll be like, "Oh, a Vidalkin, my boy. They're rarely seen outside of their towns. This is excellent. He probably has amazing stories I have never heard."
Yeah, stories for sure. It didn't take long for him to start spilling beans at all about his stories. And then there's a paintbrush over here. A Mariel, you've already seen. And that one, Trenton.
Well,
That's
come
a
in. I've set up almost like a dormitory in the back. I cleaned out the storeroom that really is just storing stuff that never gets sold. And so I put it off to this. I've set up some beds and you all can get cozy back there. And it is literally
Wait,
like bunk bed, 2 sets of bunk beds, and then 1 bed that's, like, almost attached to the others.
I have one more question. You sent a message about my brother. He was looking for me.
Oh, yes, about 2 little over 2 weeks ago, he was in town, and he was asking after you. Uh, Apparently your sister is sick? She tries to play it off as she is not, but they're unsure what is happening. And
Have you
he wanted to
has he
find you to see to make sure that you got back to see her before it all went. She insists she's fine and doesn't want any of you to trouble.
has my brother left town?
Ah, yes, he headed towards Balmoral. I mean, if you got here, he should have made it. He should have passed you all. Hmm. Perhaps he just wasn't paying close enough attention and you weren't expecting to see him and you just passed along the way. You do know
We
that there
did
is a
run
wizard in
into.
town that can do the dream messages. They can't do the sending, but they can walk into others' dreams like Lewis had done with you.
Great. Okay. I will see that wizard later.
Ah, yes, yes. He's been quite bored lately. There's not many people that want to dream walk into their lovers' dreams and catch them not cheating, really, but
That's my brother, not that. I don't roll like that.
well, you know that most of his clientele are those that think their spouses are cheating.
That's true. It's a small town. Word gets out really quickly here. I know. I remember.
But yes, you can all get set up. Amariel does take the bed that's in the middle, kind of attached to others, and lays back down, and she's starting to feel better, but still just resting.
Hmm,
I
okay.
am gonna take a top bunk just because it sounds fun.
I will take the other top bunk. Throwing up all my gear. Hey, Luis, has there been any items that have come through of interest lately?
No magical items, no. There are a couple of swords that have been sold, but they would need some work. Mostly it's just the normal bric-a-brac. I did get
Okay.
in some new tchotchkes if you would like to see those. And you do remember that he has a thing for tchotchkes, and so he's got like all these little figurines and stuff that nobody ever buys.
The arrow, like I totally want to see all. I want to see these.
I don't want to see these, I promise
I
you.
may want to steal one of these.
Daryl actually is interested in the tchotchkes and things like that, and finds that very entertaining.
Tchotchke aficionado.
He has advantage on tchotchke checks.
Advantage on tchotchke check.
Or recollecting lore on a specific tchotchkes to determine their value, like antique showroom.
Yep.
You know where this is from? You guys recognize this?
Lewis does look over at you, paintbrush, and sees the paint that looks wet on your staff, and he's like, "My boy, are you an artist?"
Oh, you cut out for a second. What was that? One more time?
He looks over at you with your paintbrush with the paint on it. "My boy, are you an artist?"
I am. And I'm gonna pull out my paintbrush and then pull out my little paintbrushes.
You know, I haven't really had anybody in town that I trusted, but I would really like a mural. And he like drags you outside bodily. He's really stout for a dwarf. And
I enjoy.
it pulls
Yeah.
you to the side of the store, and just an entire wall has been whitewashed. And he's like, "I've wanted a mural here, but I'm not sure what. And I didn't trust anybody to do it. But I think you could."
Yes, it would be an honor. And um, paintbrush is a little weird. So I'm gonna pick up his hand and kiss it like a princess.
He kind of looks at his hand and shakes it. "Okay, then. I'm gonna go inside, but do what you want."
Oh, I'm so excited.
So go ahead and roll me a performance check, and you can tell us now what you paint, or you can think on it and tell us next week.
I will. Huh. I'll think on it. I'll think on it. But let me
Okay, but
see.
still give me the performance check so we see how it's going to turn out.
Ooh, okay, not bad. 18, 18.
All right, yeah, it's going to be a really good mural. And you don't even have to skulk in the night for it.
It's not
Yes.
a felony.
Errol, as you walk back out with tchotchkes in mind, you do see an entire wall that is like these little glass figurines of various colors, various styles. But you've seen these kinds of things before in Belmoral and a couple other places where glassmakers will make these as trinkets for like to give your lover or something like that. And so some of them are like in the shape of hearts, and there's various things. And he's very proud of them. And he's probably paid more for them than he should have. So all of the prices are like 5 to 10 gold for these little glass creatures and figures.
I told you you wouldn't want to see them.
What's the difference between seeing and buying? I'm fat. And
With your perception, you do notice that there's a couple that are like darker in tone. Like do see a couple that are uh shadowy or like demons, or that are a little out of place, and you haven't seen so many of those before.
he's definitely going to ritual cast detect magic once he sees some of the more odd stuff in back.
Yeah, you go ahead and ritually cast it. There is, outside of what you all have on your persons, no magical items.
Okay. So they're just something different. So and he will definitely kind of, if the dwarf is still in there, and kind of point to some of the more eclectic
He
ones
has
and
come back in after giving Paintbrush his
yeah.
wall to paint, and
Hmm.
still occasionally like looks at his hand and shakes it a little bit, like goodies.
And Aaron will ask him about some of the more eclectic ones that he hasn't really seen before. I mean, this
Oh,
is
these.
someone's passion. I mean, this is kind of like honestly something that is fairly interesting to Errol. Not necessarily he doesn't care about the garbage and stuff, but is interested in hearing about someone else's interests just because.
He dives in and he's like, "Oh yes, there is this traveling trader that comes through quite often, and he goes to a couple of the great glassmakers in Kaloon and Tekli and Belmoral, and even goes into the Shattered Wastes where some of this glass comes from, where the magic was just so intense that it burned the sand and the ground and created." And he points to one specifically that just looks like shadow, like it's almost like it's uh a magic spell trapped in glass as it hit the sand. And he just keeps on going on and about how uh, this demon, uh, the artist swears that this demon visits him in his dreams. I paid 20 gold for this one, and that is why it is on sale for 30.
How
Aaron
many
wouldn't
of
do that.
those have you actually sold, Lewis?
I'm gonna roll a dice for it.
So while all this is going on, I have a question.
He sold about 10 total since he started collecting
Yay.
them.
I guess it's a start.
Being with my background, I would have been around very fine, ornate, Fabergé egg-like items.
Bric-a-brac.
Is there any hidden gems here that he is unaware is actually much more valuable than what he thought?
Roll me a
Like an
perception check
like an
or an
accidental Fabergé.
investigation, whichever is better.
Perception is 1 point better. 19.
You start to wander through, and amongst the glass tchotchkes, there's none that really tweak your senses for them. You do notice in it's not a locked case, but it just looks like a glass case. Like, in thrift stores where they just put other things in a glass case that's also for sale.
Yeah.
uh you do see me actually find stuff so that I'm not just making this shit up.
Make
What
it
does
up.
his elvish
Make
eye
it up.
see?
You
Definitely a
do
thrift
see
shopper.
fairly well wrought spyglass, which back in your city of Heckley would be 1,000 gold pieces at the low end, that he has sitting there with 150 gold pieces as the price on it. You do see a couple of uh like jewels, polished stones that are, especially because most stones are also spell components, usually a pretty hefty amount, that seem to be marked down from what you would be able to find elsewhere by about 50%. But that's about all you see that's pricey.
I make a mental note of this. Uh, and I will just keep moseying on along the store. And is
Austin,
there
make me an insight check on Trenton to see if you notice that he's clocking things.
also a lion tchotchke?
First, Lustin, make your insight roll.
Oh, you want me to?
You can make
Sorry.
a deception roll if you want to against him, Trenton.
Probably not the best, but we're gonna see. Insight, you say? Okay. Yeah. Nope. My insight sucks.
What?
It's a 13
I
total.
rolled a 2. I got a 4 minus 2. I have a negative 2
I
to
rolled a
charisma.
14 minus 1.
So
Sure,
you
people
do
walking
notice
around being bad at
that
stuff.
Trenton is
Actually, I'm going to use my passive aggressive
Okay.
nail filing inspiration.
okay.
6.
Take that.
You do notice
That's what you
that
deserve.
Trenton is like
Staring at.
blocking things around the room,
Case in the
uh,
joint. Case in
but
the joint.
maybe he's steal, maybe he won't. Knowing him, he probably will. But uh, as you go over the tchotchke wall, there is a red glass lion. Yes, it
How much?
is 7 gold.
I want it.
You like the glass tchotchkes? Yes, yes, yes. And he gets a step stool and gets up to it because it's a couple shelves up. And he brings it down, and like in two hands, cupping it, he hands it over to you. And it like fits in the palm of your hand. It's not like a big lion by any means, but it is very well wrought. You have seen a lot of glass figurines in your time, and the ones that he has are actually really well done. So you can understand the price on them, but most people aren't as fanatical about that. And Lewis does turn to Leston. See, I have sold 11 now.
He's a
He
great
hasn't bought it
salesman.
yet. He just says he
Uh,
wants it.
5 gold.
Roll a persuasion check.
Did you roll a 1?
No,
A
but not
2?
9 minus 2, 7.
he got a 9
Yes! Someone with worse stats than me.
minus 3.
This is why I was running the store mainly, not you.
Okay, 5 gold it is.
Um, do me a favor. I'll throw in an extra gold if you can have this delivered to a specific address for me.
Okay,
And then I give him like my dorm address
yeah. Okay.
because I'm not because I know if I have glass in my bag, that bitch is gonna break.
He's like, okay, yes, yes, yes. And over the course of the next couple days, he will take it to the delivery service in town, all nicely wrapped and like bubble wrapped and boxed up. And
And I'm reducing my coinage by 6 gold. Fuck spell components. This was more important.
and as you all come to rest in Louis Dragon Rock's shop, that is where we are going to end for the evening. Thank you to everybody who has come out to watch. Thank you to all of our wonderful players. Again, I am Kristen, and you can find me at Darcerelish on the internet, mostly Twitter, some other places I occasionally remember I have social media. um,
Occasionally.
you can find me on Saturday nights on Exquisite Corpse Present, playing
That sounds questionable. What's going on there?
my chair rubbed against my art cart and made a weird noise and freaked me out.
Want to learn more about Art Cart? Please tell us more about Art Cart.
I will tell you later.
Nope.
Where I play on Saturday nights, I play Candy. We are taking a break until the 10th because of many things, but I will not be there because I will be on vacation. But you will catch me there again soon. Let us meet Danny.
Hey, you can find me on the internet at Dr. Snugglebutts, different variations depending on the format. I can't remember which ones have periods and don't. But you can figure it out. I believe in you. And I might have some upcoming projects in the works, but they're in the shadows lurking, as most things are right now. And like and subscribe here. That's it.
Whee!
Really?
I'm done. I've just peaked. It's all downhill from here.
Steve.
Hi, my name's Steve. Playing Arrow, that friend that shows up at your family's house and is like really actually interested in all the stuff that you're kind of embarrassed about, and I'm here for that. You can find me on Twitter at W9Steve. I am going to be playing in Basin by Free League on Chaotic Wonderful Play on Thursday, if Mary is feeling well. And then 2000 Stories on Friday for our charity. Wow, brain stopped. Words are hard, y'all. Buy the t-shirt here on Rainbows and Razor Blade Production Presents for Planned Parenthood. It's going to be we're now at level 20, kind of a dungeon crawl like the old Running Man movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger back from the similar to one of those. So thank you.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Skagwater RPG. You can find me on all the social medias under that. And tonight I was playing Less Than Fire River, and you can find me in a bunch of other things. There's projects that I've been working on personally, which hopefully I'll release pretty soon. And you can find me next month on a cyberpunk / Vampire the Masquerade game with on Alter Deco archives on Wednesdays, and you can also find me on Dice Drop Evolution, where I play another superhero. So yeah, I do things.
Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I played Paintbrush tonight, and I will see you guys on Monday. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram.
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
Tomorrow, right back here at 1 p.m., you can catch Watercolor Wizardry with our watercolor wizard Maria. She is working on characters for our Thursday night game, so I get my second character art, and I'm excited. Then afterwards, you can catch her game at 4:30 of Misguided Magic, where political intrigue and teleports gone wrong, and my character flirting with the daughter of my grandmotherly character's ex. Because elves are hot, y'all.
No, it's dwarves.
God
It's all
damn
about
it,
the
Victoria
dwarves.
wants to be ruined.
All about dwarves.
And then on Wednesday, for chaos, we're going to have Kat, Chad, and I all on, and we're going to talk home rules and the various ways that they pop up. It's gonna be fun, and I'm excited. And then on Thursday, Chad will be back, as will I, and we will be playing At the Threshold, his 5e homebrew game, where memories are slowly coming back, and things like to talk in Hide's head. Like a lot. On Friday, I will be back in the GM seat with Somna McSterai, the not 5e, the Cyberpunk homebrew that I am running, where last week we had some amazing guests, and there was a cyber psychosis spider lady on, and it was amazing. And there's gonna be lots of things that happen with that down the road, and I'm very excited. Very excited. And then back here on Monday for more Artena. Thanks everybody for coming out. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Good night.